Hi friends! Welcome to part 2 of our travels up the Pacific Coast Highway. In part 1, which I'll link down below, we traveled from Ventura, California up to San Francisco. In part 2, we're going to be taking it from San Francisco up to around Medford, Oregon. My mother-in-law lives in a tiny house just south, I believe, of Medford. So we'll be taking the next several days to travel up to see her. So first things first, today we need to do a little bit of grocery shopping before we hit the road. So we're going to do that this morning and then keep heading north. Okay, we didn't make it very far, maybe like 10 miles or so from Whole Foods, and we had to stop. We were driving down these like super like curvy roads, all the curves. And I thought it would be a good idea to be in the back of the bus putting the groceries away while we were driving down these roads. It wasn't a good idea. I'm feeling pretty car sick now. So we pulled over, we're at John Muir Beach, and we're just gonna get out and walk around a little bit. I'm drinking a little bit of kombucha. Sometimes the bubbles help my stomach a bit. And I'm gonna try really hard not to barf. All right, we made it to our sleeping spot for the night, and I went the whole day and didn't barf. So despite the switchback roads and hairpin turns, we did get about 130 miles today. So we're just gonna settle in for the night, have a little dinner, and then keep going north tomorrow. Good morning. Just eating a little oatmeal. I guess that Murphy wanted some too. So we don't really have cell service out here, but I had service long enough. I had one bar for like 4 minutes, long enough to learn that it is going to rain pretty much for the next 10 days, unrelentingly, like 100% chance of rain. So it's a little bit of a bummer just for like our trip up the PCH and being able to see things and play outside, but it's also a real bummer just like for van life in general. We are solar powered, so the way that we charge our phones and have a refrigerator and use the blender is all from solar. So if we have no solar for 10 days, it just presents a little bit of a challenge. We'll probably get away with being able to charge our phones for a couple days. After like maybe a day and a half of no sun, the fridge will probably go out. So things are just going to get increasingly more difficult the longer that the rain goes on. And it's just hard being stuck in the bus. Every time you go outside, like every time you have to go to the bathroom, everything you're wearing gets wet. It's just, everything inside the bus is wet. It's just hard. I'm gonna try and stay positive and still have fun. We'll see what happens. I've been driving for a few hours. It's probably about 1 o'clock right now. We just pulled over to have a little bit of lunch. The rain has for the most part held off so far, just a couple sprinkles. Landscape has kind of changed. We've been inland for most of the day, like kind of through the forest, which has been really pretty too. Actually, let me show you what I'm having for lunch because I'm pretty stoked on it. So a little bit of sourdough bread with avocado, some cilantro, tomatoes, just a little bit of sauerkraut on top and hemp seeds. This sourdough bread we actually got in San Francisco. It was made by a local bakery there and it's so fresh and so delicious. I'm excited. Good morning. It's raining a lot. So let me just show you where we stayed last night. We're in this little parking lot of a trailhead. There's the trail. That's where we parked. And I woke up this morning and realized right here is a giant sequoia. I've been waiting to see a sequoia. We've seen tons of redwoods, but I really wanted to see a sequoia and woke up and there it was. So we're gonna kind of take it easy for the day because it's raining so hard. We don't want to do a bunch of travel. So we're just gonna hang out. I'm gonna do a couple things on the computer. I have some emails to send, some bills to pay, you know, life stuff. We are, however, running low on propane and water and ice and all those supplies. So we'll probably need to head into a town this afternoon and pick some stuff up. Alright, we've posted up for the night just in a Walmart parking lot. It's all we could find around where we were. And we're just kind of hunkering down inside. The rain is pretty vicious out there. We've been kind of wet and cold all day. So I'm gonna make something warm for dinner, probably some sort of like warm veggie bowl, something warm plus warm. Oh, I almost forgot the best part of the day. I saw elk for the very first time pretty close, and they were not afraid of us at all. We stayed in the car and took pictures from the car, but we were pretty close to them. They were majestic and beautiful. All right, I'm gonna get started on dinner and try to stay dry and warm. So I just wanted to show you what we ended up with for dinner. I just did like a one pot meal with some quinoa and some veggies we had. So some broccoli, some sugar snap peas, some mushrooms just tossed with some coconut aminos and garlic, and then just put it on a bed of spinach with some cilantro, jalapenos, some pistachios thrown in there, and a little bit of tomato. Good morning. Guess what? It's raining. More. Do I look tired? Don't answer that. I did not sleep very much last night because the wind was rocking the bus back and forth, and every time the bus would rock, I would wake up. I'm tired. So we've had a little bit of a change in plans. So our plan was that we were gonna camp near Crescent City at the Jedediah Smith campground, but with this heavy rain that's gonna keep going for the next 8 days, we've decided to forego the camping. Also, we learned that Grants Pass, which we have to drive up in order to get to my mother-in-law's house, is going to get some snow. So we're trying to avoid that at all costs, which means the earlier in the week that we leave and pass over Grants Pass, the better. So we're going to try and do that today instead of waiting till later in the week when the weather might be worse. It's still going to be very windy and raining really hard, and we learned that it's one of the most dangerous roads in the United States, apparently. This should be an interesting day. In other news, our fridge is still on. Ooh, I'm gonna need some blueberries. So we still got a little bit of power left in the battery.
We got a ton of power.
Fingers crossed at last. Wake up, you're on YouTube! Alright, so we've made it to the end of the PCH for us. We are just north of Medford, Oregon, in Shady Cove.
Right now it's Snowy Cove.
Hold please, we should introduce our co-host. He fell asleep. This is Murdoch.
Say hi, Murdoch. Good job.
Yeah, sleepy puppy. So we did have to accelerate the last few days just because of the weather. It was pouring rain, which then turned to snow, so we didn't really get to stop and do everything we would have done. We kind of had to skip some stuff by. We tried to go up to these caves. What were they?
The Oregon Caves.
Yeah.
What it was called.
But the higher we climbed to get there, the more the snow was coming down, and we can't really drive through the snow that safely in the bus, so we had to turn around. But I still feel like we saw some pretty epic stuff. I was really enamored by the redwoods. I couldn't take enough photos and videos, and I hope that you found it as interesting and beautiful as I did. What was your favorite part?
Had a lot of fun playing on that boulder on Portuguese Beach and seeing elk so up close.
Yeah.
Like just right there, just chewing on grass right next to the road. That was really neat too.
Yeah. So I feel like the Pacific Coast Highway was everything and more that I had imagined it to be, and I would recommend it to anyone.
Highly, especially if it ends with a sleepy puppy.
A sleepy puppy in a tiny house. All right, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I put out new videos every Tuesday, so make sure you subscribe to follow along with our travels. Bye, friends. Well, that's annoying. Welcome to part 2 of I'm looking in the wrong place.
Wait, you can't hear that?
Is that like from Flashdance or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Good morning to you. Very unenthusiastic about anything.
Yeah, he's like,
No.
YouTube, what? Look in the right spot, Rebecca. Look in the right spot. Wow. I'm
Wearing a bun on your head.
bun. I am
Speechless with wonder. Whoops. I can't. I don't.